Get ready to be blown away by the ultimate tech mastermind, Elon Musk. With his exceptional skills, philanthropy, and visionary leadership, he's a jack of all trades. From buying Twitter to running his own private space network, SpaceX, Elon Musk has brought revolutionary innovations to the world. And his newest breakthrough, Starlink, has made it possible to provide high-speed internet to even the most remote parts of the globe. But wait, does Elon Musk have more up his sleeve? Is he deploying spy satellites? What is Starshield and how does it work? Is it some kind of all-seeing artillery weapon? In October 2020, Elon Musk unveiled Starlink, a game-changing system for low-cost, high-speed satellite internet. What started with a small beta user base has now grown to over 500,000 clients in less than 2 years. Starlink was created to provide quick internet connections to rural areas, but it's found use in the military too. Starlink terminals on the ground and satellites in orbit have supported communications for the Ukrainian army as they repelled Russian attacks. This innovative technology is made possible through an expanding network of private satellites circling above. Despite the fact that Starlink satellites frequently make headlines, many unusual facts about the system are overlooked. Did you know that more than 3,000 Starlink satellites are currently orbiting the Earth? And SpaceX plans to launch even more in the future. The constellation has numerous other applications that are both planned for and already implemented. But before we dive deeper into SpaceX's plan for an impressive number of launches each year, and the impact of Starlink on astronomy and global events, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest developments and discoveries by Elon Musk and his innovative team at SpaceX. Now, let's begin. Starlink, one of SpaceX's most ambitious projects, has been making waves in the tech industry for its sheer scale and groundbreaking technology. But what exactly is Starlink, and what sets it apart from other satellite internet providers? First of all, Starlink is not your average satellite internet service. It's a global network of internet beaming satellites that orbit the Earth, providing high-speed internet access to even the most remote corners of the planet. And get this, it runs on the open-source Linux operating system. That's right, Starlink is powered by the same operating system that runs some of the most powerful supercomputers in the world. How cool is that? But Starlink is not just impressive for its use of Linux. The second generation of Starlink satellites, known as Starlink 2.0, is larger and more powerful than its predecessor, weighing in at a whopping 2,755 pounds. And recently, the Federal Aviation Administration gave SpaceX approval to orbit the staggering 7,500 of these behemoths, making it the largest satellite constellation in the world. One of the most exciting aspects of Starlink is its use of lasers for communication. Future Starlink satellites will all be equipped with laser crosslinks, which will enable them to share data among themselves, lessening the dependence on ground stations. This means that Starlink will be able to distribute internet traffic among satellites globally, without relying on ground-based internet networks to receive the signals. And with laser crosslinks, Starlink will be able to beam internet access to even the most remote polar regions. But Starlink's incredible technology doesn't come without its challenges. Despite SpaceX's efforts to make Starlink more discreet, Starlink satellite trains can sometimes appear in the sky in an odd way. These satellites can be quite visible when they're released as they move toward their orbits. And as if that's not enough, these satellite trains have also been frequently misidentified as UFOs, causing quite a stir in the media. In addition to raising concerns about being mistaken for UFOs, the International Astronomical Union has called on the United Nations to act to protect the night sky from Starlink constellations. These satellites can pose a threat to the dark skies needed for astronomy, which is why SpaceX has taken steps to make Starlink appear fainter in the night sky. Now, let's talk about the fascinating and somewhat concerning world of China, Russia, and SpaceX's Starlink. China has been conducting some eyebrow-raising experiments using nuclear explosions to destroy Starlink satellites. A recent publication by a group of Chinese scientists working at the Northwest Institute of Nuclear Technology outlined methods for destroying or otherwise jeopardizing Starlink. They claimed that a 10-megaton nuclear explosion would be powerful enough to destroy the satellites if they were launched into space. The debris clouds resulting from the explosion could cause strong residual radiation that might directly damage spacecraft moving through it, like satellites. According to the South China Morning Post, the researchers published their findings in an article in the Chinese Journal of Nuclear Techniques, and their simulation of a nuclear blast against satellites is a cause for concern. Although Starlink is most often associated with the high-speed internet it provides to remote areas, the US Air Force has used it in actual live fire drills, and the satellite constellation also provides military equipment with connectivity. During Russia's ongoing invasion of Ukraine, Ukrainian forces made extensive use of Starlink, and the US military has other applications for the technology. In 2020, when the US Air Force and SpaceX worked together in a live-fire exercise, US military assets used information from Starlink's satellite to shoot down a drone and a cruise missile. SpaceX has even created a Starlink partner project called Starshield that will provide the American military and related organizations with extra high-assurance cryptographic capabilities necessary to host classified payloads and process data securely while meeting the strictest government requirements. But with Starshield offering greater security than Starlink, will it ever be weaponized? Given the large number of satellites orbiting the planet, how challenging would it be to outfit that Starlink constellations, and, more specifically, Starshield with a weapon that could be fired at the planet or other satellites as needed? Even though it would go against agreements like the Outer Space Treaty, which forbids the use of weapons of mass destruction in orbit, the idea of such a project is definitely worth pondering. Recently, some military organizations have been discussing the idea of using space weapons, which have been proposed in various ways over the years. One such idea was the Thor, an American production from the 1950s. However, it was abandoned before it even reached the conceptual stage. Other proposals including rods from God, which would launch kinetic energy weapons from orbit, and tiny satellites, which would have internal targeting systems that would allow them to shoot at other satellites or the planet below. Starshield, another space weapon proposal, has not received much information, but SpaceX's Starlink technology and launch capability are being used to support national security operations. According to a page on the company's website, it emphasizes the availability of end-to-end data encryption on Starlink service, and the fact that it's available today. However, Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, has recently been criticized for his vocality on Twitter, which he recently purchased. Many are concentrated about Twitter because it's more likely the victim of any conflict between worldviews, since the majority of Musk's wealth comes from his ownership of Tesla. This has raised concerns about his tweets about Ukraine and whether he believes too much in the US and West's freedom of speech. Despite these concerns, Tesla has recorded sales of its vehicles in China in September, even as competition with local electric vehicle makers heats up. However, a week ago, a commentator for the Chinese Communist Party's Global Times cited Musk's tweet about Ukraine and claimed that he believes too much in the US and West's freedom of speech, and that he will be taught a lesson. A recent whistleblower complaint and testimony from former security chief Peter Zakto have shed light on potential problems Twitter may have with China. Zakto claimed that China could potentially gather information on Twitter's critics through advertising and espionage. He also stated that the FBI has informed Twitter that a Chinese intelligence agent was employed within the company. These revelations have raised concerns about Twitter's ability to protect its users' privacy and safety. In light of these concerns, Michael Abramowitz, president of the nonprofit Freedom House, has stated that while Elon Musk is entitled to his opinion and speech, he should be more thoroughly briefed on the human rights violations in Russia, China, and elsewhere in the world before taking ownership of one of the largest tech platforms. Some may interpret this statement as a world leader's fearing Musk, as he continues to make headlines with his controversial statements and actions. It's difficult to speculate on whether world leaders fear Elon Musk, as there could be a variety of factors at play. However, it's worth noting that Musk has gained significant influence and popularity in recent years, thanks in large part to his work with SpaceX, Tesla, and other innovative companies. Musk's outspokenness on a variety of issues, including human rights, climate change, and technology, has also made him a lightning rod for controversy and criticism. Some world leaders may see him as a threat or a potential adversary, while others may view him as a valuable partner or ally. Regardless of how world leaders view Musk, it's clear that he wields significant power and influence in the tech and business worlds, and his decisions and statements can have far-reaching impacts on a variety of industries and sectors. As such, it's important for stakeholders to closely monitor his activities and statements, and to consider the potential implications of his actions for global affairs and geopolitics. What are your thoughts on the intersection between technology and national security, particularly with regards to the use of space technology for defense purposes? Share with us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, show us some love by hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below. Also, if you're a fan of all things technology, be sure to check out this other video we've got lined up for you on the screen. It's packed with all the latest news, tips, and tricks to keep you ahead of the curve.